Francois, what is your philosophy on leadership? How do you inspire your team to do their best?
By example. I've always thought to lead by example, sir.
Well, that is right. That is exactly right. But how to get them to be better than they think they can be? That is very difficult, I find.
How do we inspire other people to be better than they can be? This film tells the inspiring true story of how Nelson Mandela, the newly elected president of South Africa, used the Rugby World Cup in 1995 as a means to unite a divided nation. Invictus is a 2009 biographical sports film directed by Clint Eastwood and starring Morgan Freeman and Matt Damon in the lead roles.
I am now in a position to announce that Mr. Nelson Mandela will be released at the Victor Verster prison on Sunday, the 11th of February, at about 3 p.m.
There's Mr. Nelson Mandela. Mr. Mandela, a free man, taking his first steps into a new South Africa.
On 11 February 1990, Nelson Mandela is released from Victor Verster prison after having spent 27 years in captivity. 4 years later, Mandela is elected the first black president of South Africa. His presidency faces enormous challenges in post-apartheid era, including rampant poverty and crime, and racial division between black and white South Africans. The ill will which both groups hold towards each other is seen even in his own security detail, where relations between the established white officers who had guarded Mandela's predecessor and the black ANC additions to the security detail are frosty and marked by mutual distrust. But Mandela sees the importance in them working together.
Comrade President, not long ago these guys tried to kill us. Maybe even these 4 guys in my office tried and often succeeded.
Yes, I know. Forgiveness starts here too. Forgiveness liberates the soul. It removes fear. That is why it is such a powerful weapon. Please, Jason. Try.
While attending a game between the Springboks, also known as Bokke, playing against England, Mandela recognizes that some black people in the stadium are cheering for the opposing team and not their own country, as the mostly white Springboks represent prejudice and apartheid in their minds. Knowing that South Africa is set to host the 1995 Rugby World Cup in 1 year's time, Mandela persuades a meeting of the newly black-dominated South Africa Sports Committee to support the Springboks when they had initially decided to replace them.
So this rugby is just a political calculation?
It is a human calculation. If we take away what they cherish, the Springboks, their national anthem, we just reinforce the cycle of fear between us. I will do what I must to stop that cycle, or it will destroy us.
Mandela then meets with the captain of the Springbok rugby team, Francois Pienaar, and takes the time to get to know him. He shares with Francois a poem that had inspired him during his time in prison and implies that a Springbok victory in the World Cup will unite and inspire the nation. After the meeting, Francois is picked up by his wife.
So, what's he like?
He's not like anyone I've ever met before.
Yeah, well, what did he want? What did he talk about? Did he talk about rugby or what did he talk about? Francois? It's like talking to a brick wall. What did he say?
I think he wants us to win the World Cup.
As the team trains, they are interrupted by a PR build-up campaign, putting up coaching clinics in townships all over the country. Against it at first, the team soon have a change of heart when they begin to interact with the fans and build a friendship with them. Mandela learns that Springbok's first challenge is one of their arch rivals, Australia, the defending champions, known as the Wallabies. Before the match, Mandela makes a personal visit by helicopter to wish the team good luck and hands Francois the poem he had mentioned before, named Invictus. During the opening games, support for the Springboks began to grow among the black population, and against all odds, they managed to defeat Australia. They celebrate, and the next day, the team visits Robert Island, where Mandela spends the first 18 of his 27 years in jail. There, Francois is inspired by Mandela's will and his idea of self-mastery in Invictus.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the bed from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul.
By the second game, the whole country comes together to support the Springboks. Mandela's security team also grows closer as the racially diverse officers come to respect one another. The Springboks then continue to defy all expectations, and as Mandela conducts trade negotiations in Taiwan, they defeat France in heavy rain to advance to the finals against their other arch-rival, New Zealand, known as the All Blacks, the team favored to win the World Cup.
But how can we win?
Maybe we won't. They're favored 2-1. Madiba, we have already exceeded all expectations on and off the field.
It's not enough. Not now. Not so close. This country is hungry for greatness.
The day of the finals, a large home crowd of all races came to the Elias Park Stadium in Johannesburg to support the Springboks. Just before the match, Mandela's security detail receives a scare when a South African Airways Boeing jetliner flies in low over the stadium. However, it wasn't an assassination attempt, but a demonstration of patriotism, with the message, "Good luck Baka," painted on the underside of the plane's wings. Mandela arrives onto the field before the match wearing a Springbok cap and jersey, a powerful symbol of unity, to greet the players. As the match progresses, the teams are evenly matched and scores back and forth. They finish full time all tied up, which results in extra time.
Heads up! Look in my eyes. Do you hear? Listen to your country. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Defense, defense, defense. This is it. This is our destiny. Come, Baka! Come!
When it came down to it, the final minutes of the game, fly-half Joel Stransky makes a dropkick attempt. The nation stood still as they watched the ball fly between the posts, followed by a roaring crowd. As the time runs out, the Springbok wins 15-12 against the All Blacks, with the entire nation celebrating the victory in unity. Mandela and Francois meet on the field together to celebrate the monumental accomplishment.
I want to thank you for what you have done for our country.
No, Mr. President, thank you for what you have done for our country.
Mandela's car then drives away in the traffic-jammed streets leaving the stadium. He insists that there is no rush, as his security team wanted to change the route due to the cheering crowd. But Mandela takes a moment and watches South Africa celebrating together in the streets from his car, the unity of the Rainbow Nation at its best.
Invictus teaches us profound lessons on leadership, forgiveness, and the unifying force of sports. Set against the backdrop of post-apartheid South Africa, the film showcased Nelson Mandela's remarkable leadership during a tumultuous period, highlighting the transformative power of forgiveness and reconciliation. 接下来我们揭晓今天的学习内容。It's like talking to a brick wall. When you use this phrase, you're expressing the idea that the person you are talking to is not receptive to your communication or is not providing the expected response. For example, if you're trying to explain something to someone and they are not paying attention or not acknowledging your input, you might say, it's like talking to a brick wall. This implies that your efforts to communicate are met with a lack of understanding or response, similar to how a brick wall would not respond to spoken words. The phrase hungry for is often used metaphorically to express a strong desire or craving for something, usually not related to food. It indicates a passionate and intense longing for a particular experience, achievement, knowledge, or success. For example, hungry for greatness conveys a strong desire and determination to achieve excellence, success, or exceptional accomplishment in one's endeavors. And that's it for this episode of Cinephile. You can find more on the FUNDAY website. Let's make every day a fun day.
They hate the Springboks. They don't want to be represented by a team they cheered against all their lives.
Yes, I know, but in this instance, the people are wrong. And as their elected leader, it is my job to show them that.
You're risking your political capital. You're risking your future as our leader.
The day I am afraid to do that is the day I am no longer fit to lead.
Do today learn. Today is Tuesday.
Commercial.
Traveler 是旅行者。
I have to wait for Clee.
So he or she is at the Columbia Towers Hotel gift store. 所以他在这个饭店的礼品店，然后他要买东西。Okay, so let's take this chance and listen to the.
学习，让生活充满乐趣。